I don't know why I keep saying I'm gonna quit buying books, because I'm not. Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Ian with Out of This World Reader, and today's video is going to be a very massive book haul. These are just books that I've been collecting for a couple months now, and there was a bunch that I missed out on my kind of Christmas book haul, all the books I received for gifts. I also got some gift cards that I spent on some books. And over these last couple months, I've just compiled a large amount of books that have filled my bookshelves. Like, I cleaned off my bookshelves, created a whole bunch of space, and filled it up. As you can see, they're already stacking all over the place. So it is due time to do a book haul. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to quit buying books, because every time I say that, I buy more books. So maybe if I say that I'm going to continue to buy books, maybe I'll just quit. I'll give you my brief thoughts on what I know about these if I've read them. There's quite a few here that I've actually read already. So I think without further ado, let's go through all these books here. So I've decided I'm just gonna make my way from here over to here. And the first book we have here is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is a book I've been trying to get to for the last couple months. I've been picking it up here and there, and I just haven't been in the mood to finally pick it up. But this is one I really want to get to very soon, because this is like the kind of the pinnacle of sci-fi and what kind of the origin of sci-fi. So I'm really hoping that I just enjoy this as much as I'm hoping to, but I have to wait until I'm in the right mood to pick it up. This next stack of books is all Frederick Bachmann books that I'm doing a dedicated reading vlog for, and I've already read one of them, and it was absolutely outstanding. It was heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. But in this stack here, I've got a novella and 3 of his novels. And the first one is And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer, which is one I believe about kind of Alzheimer's. And then we had the one that I've read, which is A Man Called Ove, and this was absolutely outstanding. I loved this so much. It was so heartbreaking, and learning more about Ove along the way was just, it was so good. The next one was My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry, which is another one. I feel like all of his books are just well praised. And the last one that I got in that little book haul was Beartown, which is another one I've heard a lot of great things about, and I believe this is his series. It revolves around kind of hockey and this Swedish town that is kind of dedicated everything to hockey. And I'm not sure if the series is completed or not, but I believe this has an adaptation as well, so maybe I'll check it out once I finish it. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts on these books, make sure to check out that vlog when it comes out here pretty soon. And these next 2 books I actually did a whole dedicated reading vlog for. It was for Valentine's Day, because you know I had to read some romance on Valentine's Day. And for that vlog, I picked up The Love Hypothesis and Beach Read. And I'll start with Beach Read. This one I really enjoyed. I think I almost enjoyed this a little bit more than People Meet on Vacation, but they're both so good. But I just love kind of the writer's aspect of this one. And then with this one was also really great. Like, this one has been getting a lot of hype around the start of the year, so I thought it was just due time to pick it up and see whether I enjoyed it a lot. It just touched a lot on kind of women in STEM, as well as just like the dialogue in both of them were so great, and I just loved this. I thought the hype was the real with this one. This next one I actually finished up last month. Listened to this as an audiobook, which is The Life of Pi by Jan Martel. I watched a movie of this, and I was really hoping that I would enjoy this as much as the movie, but I felt like this was dry, and it touched on a lot in this kind of short book. But I feel like I did enjoy the movie a lot more than the book, because it just felt like I was reading a textbook at times with this. But I really need to rewatch the movie and see how well it kind of compared. I feel like if my memory is correct, like the adaptation was really kind of stayed true to the book. This is considered a modern classic, and I would give it a try. But I like the story and kind of the life of Pi. And then we have just a bunch of Book of the Month picks here. I think I got just like one stack full of Book of the Month picks that I've collected over the months, so I'll just quickly go through these. This first one was actually my pick for April, because I've been really wanting to get this. It was one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and when Book of the Month had it for kind of a discounted price, I picked it up, and that was Kaikeyi. This is a retelling. I found out about the retelling in one of my history classes of the Indian subcontinent, and I love that, so I'm very interested to see how much I will enjoy this. I'm almost betting that I will kind of give it 5 stars, because I just love every retelling. We've got Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins, which I picked up last month as an audiobook. I enjoyed this overall. The only thing that I didn't like was the ending. It felt like it was over the top. But other than that, kind of like I loved the island setting and kind of the cannibalism history behind Monroe Island. So other than the ending, I thought this was really good. Another one that I was actually quite surprised on. Like I heard a lot of hype on about it, but I didn't think that I would be for me because I'm not a big fan of kind of cozy mysteries, but this one I did enjoy, and it was Arsenic by Adobo by Mansala. I thought the family and food aspects was the strongest in this book, and like I did enjoy kind of the mystery aspect, but I feel like it wasn't what like was the kind of the strong point of the book. I felt like the family aspects and all the food and everything, that was what really made me enjoy this book. And this is actually like a series too, and I believe she already has like 2 books out, so I'm very interested in going to continue on with this series. Putting another on the pile here. This is just terrible. I feel bad for all the trees, man. We've got The Maid by Anita Prose, which I've heard great things about already, and that was the main reason I picked this up, because I was kind of like a sucker for the hype, and I had to see whether it was real or not. I believe this is like a cozy mystery, so I don't know if I will enjoy it. But I feel like the readers love the character more than the kind of actual plot. So no, I don't know whether to go with the audiobook or to read this physically. So if you have any idea, please let me know. Then we have The Cartographers, which is like a fantasy around maps. And her father kind of mysteriously is murdered. And with him is like the map that they argued about. So that was really interesting and what drew me to it, because I do love maps in fantasy books. But I believe this centers around kind of like this group that kind of, like they manage all different maps of kind of different universes and everything like that. So that sounds really interesting. We've got Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I actually read this a couple months ago, I believe, or last month, I'm not sure. But I love the setting of this and kind of being trapped in. That was really kind of the strongest aspect of this. It was very kind of spooky at times. And I honestly, like, I didn't know what was going to go on with this, like, throughout the book. Like, I didn't know which way to go, and I thought the twists were really well done. I ended up giving this, I think, like, 4 or 5 stars, I'm not sure. And the last of this kind of little book of the month package here, I hope anyway, I think I picked them all out. But that is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I love the guest list. I thought The Hunting Party was just okay. But this one, I heard, I'm starting to hear kind of mixed things about, so I don't know, but I love the guest list. That was one of my favorite books a couple years ago. I read that when it first came out. And Paris is always a setting that I want to read more of, so I'm hoping that this one will be just as great as the guest list. 2 more retellings here. One that I've already read is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I love kind of like the sea setting and the kind of sea god's realm in this. And I love kind of like the setup and everything about it. I just felt like there was something missing with this. And still, like, I'm not able to like figure out what it was. And I think I really just need to read it and figure out like what went wrong. And maybe I just read it at the wrong time, because like I said, like I loved everything else about this, but there was just like something missing that I can't think of off the top of my head. And then one that's been talked about a lot, and a lot of people have loved this, is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. Oh, like, this one I really want to pick up soon, but like there's so many books that I really want to pick up, so I don't know when I'll get to it. But like, the cover is stunning, and I've just heard nothing but great things about this. So I believe she like grows up in like the moon realm. I honestly don't know, but I really want to get into just any retelling that I can get my hands on. These next 2 books were honestly heartbreaking. I just finished the Jade Legacy the other day, and it absolutely broke me. It's hard to pick out like which one is my favorite. Like obviously like Jade Legacy like was really good, but like out of the 3, like I feel like they're all great. And I have here Jade War and Jade Legacy, and if you haven't checked these out yet, you really need to. I feel like just anybody, you don't even have to be a fan of kind of fantasy to really enjoy this. Like you just really like sit with the characters and see a lot of their lives kind of go by, and you really just connect with them throughout the years. And it was just, it was so good. And the way the Jade Legacy wrapped it all up, I thought it was perfect. 5 stars, both of them. Like, you just really need to read them. swear my throat is just gonna be a rasp after this. I've been like sick these last couple of days, and talking this long is gonna kill me. We've got a stack of Joe Abercrombie right here that I picked up at my used bookstore. I got all these for less than $20, and like they were a steal. I got the Blade itself, which is where I've heard that you're supposed to start with his books. And then I picked up, like, this was kind of like a bit of like a risk, but I am a risk taker and I like to gamble. And I picked up the whole Shattered Sea trilogy by him. So I'm hoping, and I'm probably going to enjoy the Blade itself, and then after that, I'll continue with this, and hopefully these will just be just as good. But since I got them at like $5, like I feel like I can just donate them if I didn't like them. And the last that I got from him at the used bookstore was Best Served Cold, which is a standalone. And after I like read this, like I was like, whoa, this is gonna be really interesting. We've got a couple of fantasy new releases that I'm really hoping to pick up soon, because like just picking out like books is so hard, and like to put into my TBR because I really want to pick them all up. First one is the Starless Crown by James Rawlings. This follows like this prophet who kind of predicts like the greatest prophecy or something like that, and just because of that, they're just like, you're gonna die now. And she's kind of like on the run. She brings together like this ragtag group, and they gotta survive. But I'm honestly not sure what to expect with this, because like I haven't heard anything around it so far. So if you've read this, let me know. Then we got Age of Ash by Daniel Abraham. And this is actually one of the authors of The Expanse. He says that he's kind of like a fantasy author, so since I loved kind of like The Expanse series, or the first book so far, I feel like I'll just enjoy his writing in this one as well. And this is like, I believe like they're each kind of like a little bit of standalone, or they follow like the same story but from a different perspective. And this one follows like this one girl whose her brother kind of was murdered, and she's kind of going over on kind of this quest for revenge. And I haven't heard much about this one either, but that's probably because, you know, Ian, they just came out and people are just starting to read it. And then these next two books are actually on my April TBR, and they are River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, which I've heard great things about. Just like the whimsical kind of vibes and the kind of like the Celtic retelling, the bard aspects and everything about it. I've heard just nothing but great things about it. And then this actually arrived yesterday, and when it came in, my heart just did a flip. And it was The Hunger of the Gods, which is the second book in the Blood Swan trilogy. I love The Shadow of the Gods. It was actually my favorite book of last year, so I'm very excited to get into this really soon. I'm finishing up The Engines of Empire, which is another book on that I need to cover in this book haul, but I'm in the middle of that one. It's over there. I'll put a picture up here. And I'm almost finished with it, and I don't know whether to pick this up next or kind of go into that Bachmann's work. But so far, The Engines of Empire, I've been enjoying that, and I'm really excited to get into this soon. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Maybe. I hope so. I don't even know what ones I've covered anymore. We've got some more fantasy to go through. These next two books are the final books in the Poppy War trilogy, and that is Dragon Republic. If I can show you. And then The Burning God. And this one a lot of people didn't like, but I can understand why they didn't like it. I didn't like the ending. But overall, this was a really great trilogy, and I just enjoyed it. And I feel like even though the ending wasn't what I was kind of hoping for, this will still be like a favorite series of all time for me. And then we got a stack of Brandon Sanderson, who I think is becoming a favorite author of mine. The first one we have is Elantris, which I believe is actually his first published work. I don't know if it's this one or Warbreaker, but I've heard that the magic in here is just as like all of his other ones, which is just outstanding and just out of this world. I'm hoping to pick this up soon for kind of like a fantasy standalone kind of vlog that I've been kind of planning, where I pick up like a YA standalone, and then an adult standalone, and then maybe every so often pick up a middle grade standalone as well. But I have a feeling that this one, or the other one in this vlog, or this book haul, is going to be in that first edition. And then we have The Way of the Kings, which is the first book in the Stolen Archives, which had to be split into two books because it's so large. I probably should have got the US cover, but I just love like the UK covers for these. I don't know if there was like a one books version, but I couldn't find it. These ones were on sale. That's why I picked them up. But honestly, like I'm kind of scared to pick these up because of just how big they are, and since it's uncompleted. but like they keep calling my name from my bookshelves, so I think won't be long before I kind of give in to that temptation. And lastly, for good old Brandy Sandy, we've got just more of the Skyward series. We have the whole collection of the novellas, which is the kind of Skyward Flight. In here you have Sunreach, Redon, and Evershore, which kind of cover different characters within the Skyward kind of trilogy. And they all get their kind of little individual novellas or kind of novels. If you look at the size of this book, this can kill someone. The books that I've kind of been wanting to get to for months, I just need to get through those novellas. The Sky Tonic. I've been loving kind of like the Skyward series in general. But honestly, like I feel like people are torn on this book, but this is the third book and I believe there's going to be 4 books. So I'm feeling that this will kind of just lead into kind of like the 4th and final book. And this next book actually ties in perfectly to Skyward because it is very similar in kind of little bit of aspects. And that is Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. I've been wanting to get into Marie Lu's works for a while now. I feel like I will just enjoy all of her books, but I'm not sure whether to start here or with kind of the Legend series, which I also have on my bookshelves. But I'll probably start with the Legend because I believe that is kind of her most popular work. But since I love like Skyward so much, like I'm feeling like since this one's kind of like similar, I will love it just as much. So I don't know, if you have an opinion, please let me know. Okay, we're almost done. There's only 2 stacks of books left and they're all series. So let's get to it. So this one needs no explanation. I am ashamed to say that I haven't read it yet, but this year that's gonna change because I'm planning on picking it up. I'm not sure when yet, but it will be before the end of the year. And that is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I can't believe I'm saying that I've read it. I am a fantasy fan and everything, but I haven't read kind of what inspired a lot of things, but I love these editions. Like they're kind of just minimalistic, but they're also pretty. So I don't know, I got them on sale. So you know, I couldn't miss out on a deal like that. And then another kind of series that I'm ashamed to read as well, but I'm just getting into adult fantasy, so you gotta cut me a break a little bit. And that is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, Harriet's Book Corner. She really loves this whole series in general, and she really did great reviews for all of them. She really hyped me up to pick them up, and when they did the sale on the box set, I picked them up. The only thing I don't like is they're kind of small, and the words in here are like a Bible print. So that scares me. I feel like my vision already is very terrible. So I feel like I'm just gonna have headaches after finishing these books. And the last 3 books on this book haul are gonna end with a bang. This first one is honestly a brick of a book, and it scares me, but I really want to pick it up soon because I've heard nothing but great things about it, and it is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. After finishing this up, I really want to pick up The Bone Season because that one sounds really good as well. But I've heard nothing but great things about kind of like this author, and like since it's a standalone, like this was the one that I was kind of really wanting to pick up for that kind of vlog. But since it's so big, like I've just been scared of it. And the last book in this kind of book haul is going to be another fantasy release that I really want to pick up. I feel like I've said that with every book, like I really want to pick up. But that is The Justice of Kings by Richard Swann. A lot of people have been comparing this to kind of The Blade itself. But I'm very interested to see how kind of like this character, who kind of controlled a lot of power, he's kind of like justice, executioner, and all that kind of like in one. So he holds a lot of power. And I don't know, I'm very interested to see kind of like how the author will kind of take their spin on that. But that is all for this book haul. Let me know any of these books you've read and which ones you'd like to see me pick up pretty soon. But that's going to be all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next adventure. But it is time for Ellie to come on here and first wish you all to have a splendid day. But she also says that adventure is out there. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.